Hello everybody and welcome back to competitive, to a point, Premier League football on That's Football. We'll watch along for Leicester versus Manchester City. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Very excited about this start to the Premier League season. It doesn't feel that... I've got to say, I'm a big fan of these sort of summers where, you know, you don't get a lot of downtime. The summers where there's no Euros, you're a long time waiting. But we've had the Euros, we've had the Olympics if you're interested in that. And now we've got football. We've got Manchester City against Leicester today, basically kicking off the Premier League season. It's not a Premier League game, but it is a competitive game. And obviously then from next week, it all kicks in. The Championship kicked off today, didn't it, as well? So Lukaku to Chelsea done as well. Let me just... whack that out there as well. Romano is saying that deal has been done. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that it's quite interesting, isn't it, in relation to in relation to Lukaku. Chelsea, I get people saying this to me all the time about Chelsea. Oh, you know, United have had a better summer window than Chelsea, and I'm like, they haven't really, have they? I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's not the summer transfer window's not over. And Chelsea wanted a star striker, and they're going to get a star striker. I mean, would you... Trampoline toes, says soccer blogger. I'll probably do a reaction to the Lukaku video because it deserves one on this channel at some point. But just to generally talk about that, the Premier League season is nearly upon us. I'm very, very excited about it. And I think that, you know, you look at those opening games next weekend, and I always love Match of the Day, the first one of the first Saturday night of the season. It always reminds me of being on holiday and... You know, back in the 90s, being on holiday. Dad, is there a TV somewhere we can watch Match of the Day? No, we're in Spain. And I'll be like, well, we've got to find it somewhere. And I think it's fancy Premier League. Everybody just wants everything. And then by October, most people have given it up. But it doesn't make it any less exciting. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, how it's going to pan out this season, of course. I think Manchester City, we're going to watch them today. I mean... Jack Grealish is actually there. I mean, is Jack Grealish part of the squad to play today then? I don't know how that works. He literally only started training, but then again, he's been in pre-season training all week. So maybe we do get to see Jack Grealish. We'll talk about that in a minute. That is a bit of a shock, actually. But you look at those games in a week time. Lukaku will be there. Chelsea against Crystal Palace is a 3:00 kickoff next week. You've got Norwich, Liverpool at 5:30. United against Leeds. Just so excited for the start of the Premier League. I mean, look, every one of those games excites me. United, Leeds, Burnley, Brighton, Chelsea, Palace, Everton, Southampton, Leicester, Wolves, Watford, Villa, Norwich, Liverpool. Match of the day, next Saturday night. You know, I'm there. Newcastle against West Ham on the Sunday. Tottenham against Man City on the Sunday as well. And then, obviously, it kicks off with Brentford and Arsenal on Friday night as well. So, lots and lots to look forward to. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We are on the road to... 500,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and share the video. So let me give you the team news, because I didn't think in my ignorance that we would see Jack Grealish involved in the game today, but he is on the bench. The team news is this. We'll start off with Leicester, FA Cup winners. Respect and apologies to Leicester. I thought this was Chelsea against Man City. I thought if you'd have said to me 3 or 4 days ago who's playing in the Community Shield, I would have said Chelsea against Man City. I completely forgot that Leicester won the FA Cup. So, sorry Leicester, but Schmeichel and Ndidi playing as a centre-back. Sionku, Amate, Ricardo Pereira and Bertrand. Bertrand's come in from Leicester. They've got Perez, Vardy and Barnes. Welcome back Harvey Barnes. Maddison and Tillemans. Their bench does consist of Daka and Samore, so hopefully we'll get to see them. But look, I think with Leicester, just very quickly on Leicester, they're starting. I mean, the Fofana injury is so unfortunate. But they're starting to build a bit of a squad. I think Leicester on their day are a good team, but they're starting to build a bit of a squad. And Ndidi, Sionko, Amate, Ricardo Pereira, Maddison, Tillemans, Bertrand, Barnes, Perez, Vardy. They've still got people like Evans, part of the club, Albrighton, Iheanacho, Chowdhury, Daka, Thomas, Justin, Samari, Castagnier. You know, I know they've got a few injuries, but they are starting to build a bit of a squad. Man City, Stefan in goal, Cancelo, Diaz, Ake and Mendy, Gundogan, Fernandinho, Palmer, whoever Palmer is, Mahrez, Torres, Adosi. So he's gone a little bit weakened. His bench is Grealish, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Carson, Sandler, Doyle, Gomez, Kutu, Knight. So there is a chance that Leicester could win this game because that, obviously no Foden, no John Stones. You know, they've not got any of their English players back. Kyle Walker's not back yet. I mean, it's interesting that Grealish is there, having signed for them, but none of the other English players are there. Bernardo Silva on the bench. De Bruyne's not back yet either. So opportunity knocks for Leicester to maybe win this Community Shield today. I'm interested to see how it pans out. But Grealish is on the bench. Why can Fernandinho play numerous games for City and he's older that Matic can't, says Marketing James. Different bodies. Why is Cristiano Ronaldo still massively fit at 36 and Rooney was finished at 28? Genetics, the way you look after your body, I suppose. Sainsbury's car park touch, if you know, you know, says iMac. Look, Lukaku to Chelsea. I've got to say, I think it's a good deal. I do. I think it's a good deal for Chelsea. He could be the missing piece. I look at this summer, and I just want to take a couple of minutes just to talk about the transfer window. And look, we're still 25 minutes away from kickoff, so let me know what your thoughts are. Let's talk about the transfer window in general for a few minutes, because I know a lot of people get excited by this. My thoughts on the transfer window are this. Liverpool, if you're talking about, look, the top four for me, let's look at the top four from last season. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Man City. Probably the favourites to be top four this year. I'm going to do my Premier League prediction show probably early next week. Grealish is on the bench for City. Naby, please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get up to 500k. We're on the road to 500,000. What a fantastic community we're building here. Remember, everybody's welcome on this channel, so make sure you share, subscribe, and get involved. So, yes, Liverpool have bought Konate. I think Liverpool need to do more. I feel for Liverpool, or don't feel for Liverpool, but I feel for Liverpool because they're probably in a slightly worse position than United. Similarities, massive clubs owned by people who don't really want to go crazy. But United's board have had to go a little bit crazy because the Super League reaction was abysmal in their eyes. So they've bought Varane and they've bought Sancho in. Liverpool's point of view is, I think they're ridiculously reliant on their front three of Salah, Firmino and Mane. And where is the backup beyond that? Are you going to really think about playing them for 60 games next year? Where is the backup for that? And I fear that Liverpool, if you're a Liverpool fan, I would be fearful that what happened to you at centre-back won't happen this year because you've got Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip still there, you brought Konate in. I don't think it'll happen there, but it could happen up front. What if you lose Salah or Salah and Mane? You know, I think Liverpool's problem is going to be depth. You look at the depth of talent that Man City and Chelsea have got, and I think that could be a problem for Liverpool. Manchester United, my club. Sancho's come in, good signing. Varane, good signing. I mean, you could say great signings, to be fair. We've got a hole in the midfield, but we've got loads and loads of quality up front and in the attacking positions. So United should be there or thereabouts. If we get a midfielder in, we've got a very, very good squad. Chelsea, we're talking Chelsea now. Lukaku's going to go to Chelsea. It's pretty much done. When we come into this summer transfer window, for me, I think Chelsea are looking like they're going to have a good transfer window again. It's all been about United with Varane and Sancho, but you look at the business, and let's bring Man City into this because they're playing today. But Chelsea never, I'm telling you now, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I don't see anyone else here. You talking to me? Never underestimate Chelsea. Never underestimate Chelsea in the transfer window. For 15 years, they've been like this. And they are relentless in the transfer window. And I don't think it's about how quick you do it. It's about finishing off the job. They wanted a top-class striker. And they've got one in Lukaku. Now, I can talk about trampoline toes, Timberland boots, whatever. Goal scorer, penalty box king. Even at United, I called him that. He is the penalty box king. And that, you know, that's what Chelsea need. Chelsea don't need a striker that can hold the ball up and play people in and stuff like that. They don't need that. You've got Havertz. You've got Mount. You've got Ziyech. You've got Pulisic. You've got Hudson-Odoi. You don't need your striker to create. You need your striker to score. And Lukaku will score. Now, he might flop. Any signing could flop. Varane could flop. Sancho could flop. Grealish could flop. But on paper, you can't criticise what Chelsea have done. I think realistically, if Chelsea didn't get Lukaku and they didn't get Haaland and they didn't get Kane, where do you go? Lewandowski, you could try. Don't think you could do that. They want a top 5 striker in the world. Arguably, they've achieved that. You can't fault Chelsea. Also, Koundé, I think, is a very good signing, and they may well get a midfielder. And I would say, from United's point of view, or Liverpool's point of view, how are you closing a gap on Chelsea and Man City if they replicate your transfer window or better it? They were already ahead of you, and they replicate it. And I've heard a lot of United fans saying, we've won the transfer window with Sancho and Varane. Whoa, hold on a minute. Koundé, Lukaku and a midfielder. Is that better than Sancho and Varane? And Chelsea already had a better squad. Man City, Grealish and Kane, Sancho and Varane. I thought you were trying to close a gap on us. We've just replicated your transfer window and we already had a better squad. So Chelsea and Man City are going head to head. I said this at the end of last season. Man City and Chelsea, they ain't buying players to take on Man United and Liverpool. They're buying players to take on each other. Grealish obviously at Man City doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, I've got to say. Grealish to Man City for 100 million. What a player. I think he's a fantastic player. Doesn't make a lot of sense when you've got Foden, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, De Bruyne. Do you need Grealish? Well, it's a cherry on the top of the icing of the cake. You know, does a cake need icing? Man City say so. Does that icing need a cherry on top? Yeah, Grealish. Harry Kane could well be going there as well. Mate, you said it was like playing with 10 men when Lukaku was at United. Don't switch up now, buddy, says Nicholas Vincent. Mate, I've discussed this already. I've done a podcast with Alex Goldbridge, who's a Chelsea fan this week. And I was asked about Lukaku. And I will be very honest and frank about it. I did want him to be sold by United. He didn't suit the way we wanted to play. If you watch United today, we don't create many chances. The number 9 ends up being absolutely influential in our build-up play. That is not Lukaku. We don't create many chances in the box. Our number 9 ends up dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up. It was like playing up with 10 men for Lukaku because we very rarely played to his strengths and his build-up play is not very good. He won't need to drop deep for Chelsea. He'll just play on the last man. He'll play on the crosses in the box. He'll play on the through balls. So I stand by it. At United, I did want Lukaku to go. I thought there was value in him, and I didn't think he suited us. At Chelsea, it's a different club with a different mentality who will use him differently. Lukaku will finally be exposed as a fraudulent striker. Martial and Cavani are clear, says Paul, not nice. And Grealish is on the bench, Charlie Morris, so we'll see what happens. It's on ITV, says Grandad Jim. Thanks for the super chats that are coming in, by the way. Appreciate that. 15 minutes away from kickoff. Was going to start at 5, but wanted to start a little bit early because of the Lukaku news, but also because I just wanted to have a little chat about the transfer window because we are only a week now. And looking forward to how it's going to build out next week. I think Chelsea are playing Super Cup, aren't they, on Tuesday? Might do a watch-along for that, actually. Interested to see how that pans out. But yes, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, if you could. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Let's just have a look where we are. We are on the road to 500,000, which is fantastic. We're only 100 away from 489,000, so please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. It's Villarreal on Wednesday, so we'll probably do a watch-along on Wednesday for that then. I did watch United versus Everton, Mesmer, with 20,000 other people on the United stand. It was an enjoyable first half, but it is pre-season. Take it in your stride. There were goods and bads, but ultimately, I'm excited to see how it's going to pan out. My thoughts on this game, I actually quite fancy Leicester to win. I think Leicester might win the Community Shield. It's all about fitness levels at this point of the season. Let's have your prediction for top 4 this season, says Benjamin Stenning. Well, I can't do it, Benjamin, because I do a Premier League prediction show. So I don't want to spoil, a good 25% of the content on that. And actually, I haven't thought it through yet. But what I will say is, and I'm not spoiling anything here because I'm not telling you in what order, because I don't even know myself yet, but I'd be stunned if the top 4 isn't United, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea. I just need to figure out what order. But yeah, I'd be stunned if it isn't. And to be honest, that's not disrespectful to Leicester, Spurs, Arsenal or anybody else. I just think that United, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City should be favourites for top 4 because they finished top 4 last year and they've got the best. I mean, I might do the video tomorrow. Slaving. We'll see how we get on for time. But are you going to do a watch-along of the Messi press conference tomorrow? What do we think's happening with that Messi press conference tomorrow? Do we think this is a goodbye, or do we think there's a twist in the tail that he might now get to stay? I mean, I presume it's a goodbye. It's a goodbye for PSG. Goodbye. Yeah. Look, I can speak on this channel because this is not United Stand. This is about football in general. I've got to say, I'm very... Look, I have banter with La Liga fans. I think they're some of the most toxic people out there. If you've ever got into an argument with these Real Madrid, Barcelona fans who are just very toxic, they're not very nice. They're really not very nice. They're a weird cult. But I've got to say, I don't judge fans because what they're like on social media. If I did, I wouldn't welcome Arsenal fans on here, would I? But I've got to say, I'm absolutely gutted for Barcelona. You know, Barcelona, throughout my whole life, have been one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they are one of the biggest clubs in the world. And I can't help but feel sad, because I can't help but relate this to my own club, Manchester United. Hi, Mark. Liking your work. Buy yourself a beer or coffee on me. Daniel Carson, thank you very much for the super chat there. You can do that through the $ if you so wish. But yeah, I think with regards to the Messi situation, if that was United, right? Imagine United had Messi, right? Imagine your club had Messi. He comes through as a teenager. He's the world's best player. You win La Ligas, you win Champions Leagues. He hits 33, 34, whatever he is now. And his contract runs down, but you're told it's fine and he's fine. And then suddenly, because of overspending over the last few years, La Liga's rules mean that you can't afford to keep Messi and you have to let him go, and he goes to PSG. What a horrible way to end a legacy. Like, he should and would and was staying at Barcelona for his whole career. It's just horrible what's happened to Barcelona. And the sad thing is, like the Super League and like everything else, it's the fans that suffer. It's the Barcelona fans that suffer. And I do feel for them. And people might think I'm being fake or whatever, but I'm not. I feel for Barcelona fans. And I don't know why I do, because some of them have been absolute arseholes to me. But the reality is I do. I really do think it's a horrible situation. And at the end of the day, what's actually happened, if you break it down, is a club with real history and status has lost its best ever player to an oil club that's basically bankrolled by a state. But that's the way football's going. Money. I think the Messi thing is symbolic of the where football's gone in the last 15 years. It's about money now, isn't it? I mean, PSG aren't really Paris Saint-Germain. They're not. They could be Monaco. They could be Lyon. They could be RB Leipzig, Man City. They're not really clubs. They're just people that have took over them and turned them into the greatest clubs. It could, from Man City could have been Everton or Villa. PSG could have been 2 or 3 other clubs. I'm not knocking PSG or Man City. I'm knocking the regulation that's been allowed. I think moaning at Man City and moaning at PSG is somewhat baseless, because that could have been it. That could have been your club. The reality is the regulations are broken. Anyway, Akil says, would Grealish be an obstacle in the development of Foden, or do you think Grealish would be good as a midfielder or a left winger? I'm interested, Akil, because Pep Guardiola absolutely loves Phil Foden, and he obviously loves Jack Grealish. So I would be more excited about how that's going to build up rather than concerned. Craig is part of That's Football, yes. I suppose we could have done a joint watch along today, but we didn't think about that. So he will be on next week. Lots of watch alongs next week. Early heads up, we'll be doing Arsenal versus Brentford. That will be 8 o'clock next Friday. We'll probably do the Super League together on Wednesday, actually. That would be a good one because it's Super League, isn't it? But early heads up. I always try and give you an early heads up on what watch-alongs we're going to do. So we'll do... Friday night we'll do Brighton against Arsenal at 8 o'clock. Manchester United against Leeds will be on the United Stand at 12:30. Norwich against Liverpool we'll do at 5:30. We might even do 3 o'clock kickoffs, We might. And Sunday will be Tottenham against Man City at 4:30. So a very, very busy weekend. I do want to start doing 3 o'clock shows on the United Stand, on That's Football. That was part of the reason we're going to get Craig involved as well. So yeah, lots to get involved in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Can Messi sign for Barcelona tomorrow, says Gaming Zone. There's a press conference tomorrow. I suspect it's probably going to be a goodbye. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, good night. From our man Messi. And of course we'll be doing lots of Champions League watch-alongs on this channel next week, next season. I'm very excited about the season ahead. Fans back in the ground as well. Fans back in the ground. I mean, look, I enjoyed last season, but you know. Mark, apparently Villa owners are top 5 richest in the Prem. They're building a good squad with an exciting season ahead. 100 million all gone to the manager, says HH Gaming. I think the way Aston Villa reacted to the signing of the sale of Jack Grealish was so communicative with its fans. They communicated it so well. I think they've bought really well. I wonder about Dean, what's his name? Is it Dean Smith or Dean Jones? I wonder how long he'll be in charge. I mean, he's been backed. I think at some point they'll go and get a big manager as soon as it goes wrong with that coach. But they are being run really well, Villa. And you know, fair play to them, because they've had people before, haven't they? What was his name before, who, you know, promised the world and delivered very little. I think there is a clear strategy at Aston Villa. I just think with Grealish and Villa, it wasn't the right time. You know, maybe in 5 years' time, Villa will be a top 4 club. Maybe they won't. But in 5 years' time, Jack Grealish will be 30, and he wants to play Champions League football right now, doesn't he? So you can't argue with that. And well, you can argue with it. Of course you can. That's what it's all about. It's all about opinion, isn't it? But I can understand why Jack Grealish left. I do understand it, and I think it's understandable. It's understandable why he's gone. Please share the video if you're watching, by the way. You can click the share button and share it on your socials, Twitter and Facebook. Welcome, everybody. We're getting very close to kick-off, about 9 minutes away. I don't know what the capacity is for the game today. I did actually get offered a ticket this morning to go, and I was like, I can't, because I've got to do a watch-along for United, and therefore I wouldn't be able to get down to London in time anyway. So there you go. Thanks for the super chat from HH Gaming, by the way, who asked us about that Villa game. And I'm actually scared that Lukaku gone to Chelsea, says FIFA. But you know what? How? What are you going to be scared about? So what are you going to be scared about? The reality is that Chelsea have got Lukaku, Man City have got Pep and everybody else they've got Jack Grealish. Liverpool have got Klopp and a team that's won the title. You can't be scared of everybody, and everyone's got to play everybody. So ultimately, I'm not scared of it. I'm not scared of anybody. Of course, Chelsea look strong, but you know, I think United, we've got a good team. I think Leicester have got a good team, and I think hopefully we'll see a very competitive Premier League with fans back in the ground. Gerrard didn't leave, Mark. Everybody wanted him, says Abe. But you can't, mate. You can't compare Gerrard not leaving Liverpool with Grealish not leaving Aston Villa. With all due respect to Aston Villa, they're not Liverpool, are they? Not yet. Daka is a top signing, says Vandy Candy. So all the big signings really. Daka for Leicester, Samari for Leicester, both on the bench. Jack Grealish on the bench for Man City. So it's a bit like watching England again at Wembley, isn't it? The player we want to see is on the bench, Jack Grealish. I'm sure we will see Jack Grealish at some point. I can't help but like Jack Grealish. I don't know about you, but obviously him wearing a Man City shirt is not something we can do. One of you. New York. Country town. Mark, do you think it was a mistake selling Lukaku and replacing him with Dan James? Mark Friedman, I don't know why you think United did that, because that's not what we did. is it? We didn't do that. Dan James replaced Lukaku. Bloody hell! What's next? Did we replace Cristiano Ronaldo with a sock? We bought Dan James. We sold Lukaku. We didn't replace one with the other. Come on. We're better than that. That's football. It's meant to be highbrow fan conversation. That's what we're talking about. Who's better, Jadon Sancho or Jack Grealish? I will let the chat describe PES. I will let the chat decide on that. I'm watching this on ITV. I didn't know it was on any other channel. Don't think it's on any other channel in the UK. I'm sort of keeping an eye on the rugby as well. I'm very interested in that, but I bet South Africa will end up winning. But yeah, that's what I'm. So Community Shield. It won't be on 2 channels, will it? No. Is it on BT as well? No. They've got Brentford versus Valencia on BT. If that's the sort of thing that rocks your boat, let it rock your boat. So 0-0 in the rugby. Anyway, do you think there's anything in that story about Mbappe leaving PSG because of Messi and Liverpool keeping their eyes on him, says Red Harlow? Well, look, you know, I don't think that Liverpool have actually done enough in the transfer window. I think that Konate is a good signing, of course, but I don't think they've done enough in relation to the attack. Imagine Kane goes to City, Lukaku goes to Chelsea, Sancho goes to United, and Mbappe goes to Liverpool. It would be quite interesting. Steve 10 says, don't get it twisted. Lukaku wanted to leave United. I mean, I won't get anything twisted. I'll tell you the truth because I know what the truth is. Lukaku wanted to leave United because Solskjaer was benching him. If Lukaku would have been playing up front, he would have stayed. He quite rightly wanted to go because he was a bench player. He wasn't getting the game time. So if Lukaku had been playing as our number 9, he would have stayed. So, you know, it works both ways. They have Clattenburg on commentary for ESPN, nearly unbearable, says Road to Dawn. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that sound painful in life, and an ex-referee who wasn't that good telling me about football sounds a bit shite. Do you think... we've read that from Red Harlow. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. And please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 50 subscribers away from 489,000 on the road to 500,000. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Remember, everyone's welcome on this channel. It doesn't... It does... Oh, no. It doesn't matter who you support. You're all welcome. That somebody, a Man City fan, was just on the telly. The camera went to him and went, "It's me! It's me! It's me!" Well, who else is it going to be, you prat? It is you. Come on. Sad thing is, 5 years ago, we'd have been watching a Chelsea game. If you're Daniel Levy, would you sell Kane to City for 100 million and go ahead with the rebuild, or play Kane, hope the team will turn around this season? Hey. I mean, look, I think the problem that you've got with Spurs is that Daniel Levy is notoriously stubborn. He's got a business reputation to uphold. And I don't think he will sell Kane. I don't think he will sell Kane at all. I certainly don't think he'll sell him on the cheap. I don't think it works as a football decision. I don't think it works as a business decision. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I just genuinely don't. I think at the end of the day, there is good money available for Harry Kane. As long as you can get what you want in relation to the money. And look, I personally think that Harry Kane is probably worth around... 130 to 150 million pounds. If you can get that, I'd sell him. Because, Harry Kane is not happy. He wants to leave. And I don't think he's going to get any... The problem is, I think if Conte was the manager of of Spurs, there's an opportunity there for Spurs to, maybe break into the top 4. Harry Kane wants to win things. He doesn't just want to play in the Champions League. He wants to win things. So, it's like... He's not even in the Champions League, let alone winning it. So he's nowhere near where he needs to be, and Nuno's not going to take them there. So Harry Kane staying at Spurs is never going to satisfy Harry Kane, is it? So I don't think it's a good thing for Harry Kane to be kept at Spurs, but I do think it's a good thing that Spurs get the money they want to get. And when they've seen Grealish go for 100 million, they're going to want 150 million for Harry Kane. And some would say justifiably. The problem is, I don't think it's going to happen because I would have expected the way Spurs worked when Bale left. Was that the summer when they bought 4 or 5 players before Bale went? I would have thought if Spurs were going to sell Kane, they would have been buying players. And I know they've bought a centre-back, but they've not really spent a lot of money yet. So, you know. Nearly 7,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We are about to kick off here. I'm going to go for Leicester because Man City's team isn't as strong as it could be. Adosi, Torres and Mahrez, Palmer, Fernandinho and Gundogan as their midfield. All the new signings on the bench. Daka and Samari for Leicester and Grealish for Manchester City on the bench. Obviously Bertrand's a new signing. He's playing at left back. I don't know what the situation is with Castagne at Leicester. He's not on the bench. He probably is another player that is injured. But we're about to kick off here and I will start the clock. It's a 5:15 kick-off. Maddison still in a Leicester blue. Will he be going to Arsenal? I mean, how much would you value James Maddison at? Is it a step down to go to Arsenal? I still think people see Arsenal as a step up, don't they? But in reality, are Leicester a better team than Arsenal? You'd have to say yes. But then again, Arsenal getting Maddison could be a move to becoming a better team themselves. Crazy to think that this is the ground that England bottled the Euros at not too many weeks ago. Right, why is my timer not working now? It's in the wrong place for a start. There we go. It's not big enough either. That's what she said. Timer bridge, there we go. Arsenal are a bigger club. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are a bigger club than Leicester. I've been to the Leicester ground. It's small compared to the Emirates, but in recent history, Leicester are a better team. There's more chance of Leicester winning the Premier League, isn't there? Certainly in the last 10 years, they've actually won it, to be fair. They've won it more recently than United. So, we are a step up. Stop it, says Trucker. Well, you're a step up in the relation to the size of your club. You're a step down in relation to the ability of your club. And I don't care what Arsenal fans say. Leicester are better than you. It's been proven over the last 5 years. But I would agree that you're a bigger club. Oh, Maddison's gone down injured here. Foul by Gundogan. Anyway, we've kicked off. Let's keep an eye on it. Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. Man City away kit. I quite like it. I did rank the kits actually. Hi Mark, appreciate all the work you put in on your content and United Stand. Been following you and United Stand for a few years now, since about 20k subscribers, and brilliant to see the growth. Much deserved, mate, says NMCC. Thanks for the super chats that are coming in. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Are the City fans in traffic? Michael Garrison. I don't know whether this was meant to be a full capacity game or not, but yeah, it won't. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't really understand at the moment. I don't understand why United capacity today was only 50,000 when they could have filled it out, and next week it will be full. There are no government guidelines about you can suddenly start doing it or not, and I presume Wembley could be full today, but it's nowhere near full. But Leicester just playing it out from the back. And Diddy's actually playing in a back three today. Obviously losing Fofana's a problem for them. So they've gone with Tielemans and Maddison in a midfield too. I don't know. I do like that Man City kit, by the way. I don't know that I actually rate Maddison that much, you know. I think he's decent. I don't know that he's that good. Are Chelsea title contenders with Lukaku, says James Porch. I think Chelsea are title contenders anyway. They're the champions of Europe. So yeah, I think that they are, definitely. Jack Grealish was on the bench. I can't pronounce your name, but yeah, I can read what your question was. Jack Grealish on the bench. I'm going to go for Leicester to win this 2-1. Aki playing at the back. So, yeah, Diaz is playing for City, of course. But none of the English lads, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Phil Foden, they're not part of this game at all. Lovely ball by Gundogan. Hits the back of some lad I don't even know who it is. Adosi. Anyone want to tell me something about Adosi and Palmer for Man City? What are they all about? What's their background? I don't know. Are they youth products? Have they been bought in? And Didi is not playing in a back two. He's playing in a back three. He's playing as they're playing three centre backs. Oh, good running here by Harvey Barnes. Good block. Oh no, they've changed it. BBC have got it wrong. It looks like it is a back four. Keep an eye on that. BBC had it down as a back five, with then Didi playing in the back in a three. Actually, looks like it's Sionku and is it Amate as centre backs? More of a 4-2-3-1. So BBC got it wrong. Grealish could win a trophy. It's his first game for Man City, says Ty Ritchie. I don't count the Community Shield as a trophy. Although if you draft Grealish, you probably do, because it's not like Villa win anything very often, is it, to be fair? If Leicester don't get top four or win a trophy, I think they should get rid of Rodgers and go for Conte. Can see that being a step up for the team. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe last year and the year before, Leicester bottled top four. I think this year, very hard for them to break into the top four. As I said, I think it's so nailed on to beat Chelsea and Man City. Yeah, it's difficult. Seb, what are you doing?
Where's Mummy?
Where is Mummy?
We're not in the kitchen.
Upstairs, I think.
Can you... Oh.
The camera angle at the Euros was much better than this, says Eunice. So, free kick here for Manchester City. Walls on the edge of the box. Sorry, Seb just came walking through on his own, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I do like that Man City kit. I mean, I don't wear... I'd never buy a rival team's kit anyway, but I used to design my own kits when I was younger. Just in a book. No one ever saw them. It's on ITV in the UK. Good free kick, good save, Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel from Gundogan. It's going in the top corner. One of the best goalkeepers in the world, Kasper Schmeichel. We've said this many times before. And it's a good free kick. Not quite in the corner. Not dissimilar sort of range to Bruno's free kick today. Bruno just hit it harder. I think everyone's talking about Bruno's free kick. It was fantastic, but it wasn't in the top corner. I'll tell you why Pickford didn't get anywhere near it. Because Gundogan's had curl on it. Bruno's was about power. It had curl on it, but he just smashed it. Look, Pickford couldn't get there. Who do I think is going to win the Champions League? You know what? I think that's a really interesting point. I do think that the English clubs will be very difficult to beat, and I think I would include Liverpool and United in that, even though Chelsea and Man City are probably ahead of both of those. Bayern Munich, I still think will be a good side. PSG, I don't see La Liga or Serie A getting anywhere near it, to be honest. Fourth will be a battle for Arsenal and United. Liverpool, City and Chelsea guaranteed to be top three. 58, you're having a laugh. I mean, look, to be fair, Arsenal have got no European football. So this year, you can take your time over your Christmas shopping, Arsenal fans. You've got all midweek, every week, So don't feel you've got to, fit it all into a couple of days. All of December, midweek. Unless there's a Premier League game, you'll be fine. I mean, look, they've got no European football, as I said. That is an advantage for Arsenal. They shouldn't get tired. They've got plenty of time to be on the training ground. Technically they could be a threat for top four because of that. They're going to play, at least 10, 15 games less than United, Chelsea, Spurs, Man City, Leicester. So, Liverpool. So, it is an advantage for Arsenal. But I don't see Arsenal getting near the top four. I really don't. I just don't think they've got the quality to do it. I don't expect them to finish 8th. I think improvement for Arsenal would be a top 6 finish. If they got 4th, I'd build a statue for Arteta. I said this last year. I don't see how you can go from 2 years of being 8th into the top 4. It can be done, but I just don't see it. And I don't think any Arsenal fan sees it. But I wouldn't say, you can't go into a season and just write it off. This Palmer lad looks all right, for Man City, number 80. He's sort of like a better. He's like a better on the ball McTominay from what I've seen of him so far. Villa could be a threat for top 6. I mean, look, I think that everyone wants to talk about Chelsea, City, United, and Liverpool, but what about the next level? What about Arsenal, Spurs, Villa, Leicester? I think those 4 clubs, interesting. And I would have put Everton in there, but Ancelotti's gone, hasn't he? So it's infuriating. Red Baron says it's infuriating watching United play a nice play style. Then when our backs are up against the wall, we play turgid. It's annoying because I know we can, says Red Baron. Don't forget Wolves, Mark. I mean, look, Wolves had such a bad season last year. They're a bit of an unknown quantity. West Ham last year were very good. I mean, can they repeat it? Good play by Schmeichel there. That's going to go for a throw in, surely. No, it's kept it in. Leeds. I think you've got teams like Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, Everton. They sort of become the next 4. I know, of course, they can mix and match. Of course, they can. Golden Boot winner. Well, I predict all this on my prediction show, so I'm not going to give you all the spoilers, but I predicted Timo Werner. I've got to take my time on my predictions this year because my predictions last year were shit. Hi, Mark. My girlfriend just broke up with me, and right now I really don't want to be here, says Anonymous. Well, Anonymous is a bit of a crap name to have to refer to when you're telling us stuff like that, mate. Look, I don't know whether you're taking the piss. If you're taking the piss, you're a very sad individual. I'm going to take it on a level that you're talking the truth, although quite why you'd come on a Community Shield watch-along to ask a football community about things like this. I really hope you're not taking the piss. If you're not taking the piss, well, look, lots of people break up from relationships. You don't need to be thinking about things like not wanting to be here. We've all been in relationships. Well, a lot of us have been in relationships where it doesn't work out. And if you haven't got family and friends to speak to, then I would strongly advise that you pick up the phone to the Samaritans or something like that and speak to people who are very well trained for helping people out with this sort of thing. What you need to get is a bit of perspective, a little bit of, reality that unfortunately this is part of life, love and loss and relationships. Maybe it wasn't the right relationship for you, mate. So please take the advice that we've given there. And I'm sure there'll be some encouraging words in the chat as well. And if you are feeling really down, speak to people. Speak to the Samaritans or something like that. So thanks for the super chat. And please take that advice if you are serious. If it is somebody trolling, I've got no words, really. All depends on Arsenal's transfer market. They get the players they want, it'll be a battle, but if not, United for 4th, says 58. Are Arsenal planning on buying a whole team then? If they get the players they want, they'll be fighting for top 4. I think the only thing that goes in Arsenal's favour is that they've got no European football. If they had European football, I'd write them off straight away. But I don't want to write off everybody. Nice ball. Aki's covering the run of Vardy. I don't want to write everybody off because, it's very difficult to say to Spurs, Leicester, Arsenal, Villa, you've got no West Ham, you've got no chance at top 4 because it's already done. Well, that's not how football works. Look at Liverpool's collapse last year. I know they did get top 4 in the end, but they could have missed out. So, look, maybe Chelsea, United, City and Liverpool all have an amazing season and push each other all year. Maybe one of them or two of them have a bad year and open up the door. Who cares if it was a troll comment? It probably speaks to someone who wouldn't say it out loud, says Red Baron. Exactly. Arsenal fans are the most deluded, says Shiesty. Sancho should be training on Monday. The channel, I'm watching this on ITV in the UK. BFMV says Liverpool's collapse, 5 points off Man United. Laugh. I can't be doing with that sort of a knobhead comment. You know what are you talking about? So you're telling me Liverpool had a good season last year because you were 5 points off Man United? I can tell you a story about Man United, mate. Second place was overrated. We weren't that good. Most of the football we played was shit. I'm not celebrating second place, and I don't think any United fan is. So don't tell me Liverpool had a good season or they didn't have a collapse just because you finished 5 points behind us. What sort of knobhead comment is that? Liverpool didn't have a good season. You had no centre-backs and you managed to get top four. Well done. Any Liverpool fan with a brain knows you had a shit season. The only positive was you managed to salvage very well top four. Don't start thinking you didn't have a bad season because you were only 5 points off United, because I'll tell you a story about United, mate. We bottled the Europa League final, and for most of the season we played very negative, grind-out football. So I don't say United had a good season. I don't. Second place was great, but most United fans will say that was not a vintage year. Anonymous says, I find comfort in watching your streams and videos. I haven't got friends, so thank you for your advice. Okay, we'll definitely make the phone calls then. Thanks for the super chats. Who cares if I've read that one from Red Baron. Which Champions League final is your favourite, says Timo 99. Yes, Mark, what we're saying, Grealish starting today. Silly bean, I tell you what I'm saying. The game's 15 minutes old. He's on the bench. Do you think teams like Villa have overtaken Arsenal, says HH Gaming? I just think it's very difficult. You know, Arsenal are a bigger club than Leicester. They're a bigger club than Villa. But when you look at recent history, Leicester are a better club than Arsenal on the pitch. But the thing about these big clubs, it's like United. We went through a few years where we're getting bantered. We're still getting bantered, but we're not going anywhere, are we? And I don't think Arsenal are going anywhere. You can have a few bad years at some point, though. The size of the club, the size of the fan base, the size of that demand means that at some point you will become a good team. Again, it just depends how long it takes. People are starting to get very tetchy, aren't they, at the start of the season? I can just see a lot of, bitey comments in the chat. And I'm like, you know what? I'm actually not trying to wind anybody up. If I'm doing it, I'll take it as a load up. I think Liverpool had a bad season last year. I know Liverpool fans. I've had beers with them over the summer, and they said, we didn't have a very good season last year, but you know what? We did really well to get into the Champions League, and we've just got to write it off. But you get some people in the chat who are like, oh, we had a better year than United. And I'm like, mate, I don't want to get into that argument. It's in the past. We won nothing. We came second place. If you want to have it over us and say you had a better year, that's fine. It's still second place. I'm actually a United fan who doesn't value second place. No, I want United to win titles. That's the levels that we should be at. Good play here. Perez into Vardy. Shoots from distance. Oh, Stefan has to get down and tip it round for a corner. Didn't look like it was going to cause massive problems, but it did. Gone for a corner. What channel is the match on, says Richard Boyle. ITV in the UK. Palmer just kicked... So nobody's told me anything about Palmer from Man City or Idrisi, the other lad. I don't know anything about them. I don't know how old they are. I don't know what their background is. Adosi's better than Sancho, apparently, says Izo. Well, it clearly must be. I'd never heard of him before today. So, yeah, he's a shining light of football. Probably better than Neymar as well. It's amazing what you can learn in, 17 minutes. Never heard of neither of them before. Yeah, nobody can tell us. It's a real... You know what? I'm going to have to banter City a little bit. I've asked twice now for people to tell us about this Adosi and Palmer, right? if they were playing for Arsenal or Liverpool or Chelsea, I would have got an instant answer. The reason we've had no answer is because there's no fucking Man City fans, is there? There's no Man City fans who can tell us anything about these young players because they got no fans. They've got no fans, have they? This is why we're not getting an answer. We'll have to Google it ourselves. Thoughts on Son signing a new contract, remaining loyal to club, hoping Tottenham will win a trophy, or should he be criticised for not forcing a move? Says he. I don't know. I mean, Son's obviously happy at Spurs, isn't he? They're youth players. Yeah, I'd established that. I just thought, just a little bit, a couple of sentences that we could tell about him. Okay, Curry says that they are from Academy. Adosi's 18 and Palmer's 19. Are they both English then? I'm just going to use Google. They're Academy graduates. They're from the Academy. Okay, we've established that. Were they bought in? He played for Millwall, Adosi. Then City bought him last year, says Harvey. Okay, there we go. We're getting a little bit more. Palmer is English. Yeah, he looks English. Well, he could be Scottish. He looks a bit like a... He looks a little bit like a Scott McTominay. Scooby-Doo. Both English, I think, says Harlan. And Fidel says, Adosi's been a shining light in pre-season and he's really great on the ball. Won't kick a ball for you this season, mate, will he? How's he going to get in your team now? I think Daka will come on in the second half, and I think Grealish will come on in the second half. Hopefully Samari as well. I do like Samari. Mark, of course, City have no fans, except for Noel and Liam. It's not called the empty had for nothing, says Andy and Bruno. I think they'll get a lot more fans with Grealish, though, don't you think? I think Grealish is a very... I don't think they've bought him for his commercial value, but he is... Look, I've got to be honest, he was one of the players that I really... that line of who's your favourite player outside of your own club, and I've got to be honest, he would be a player that I do and did really like last season. So yeah, please share the video if you're watching, by the way. Smash a share on the button underneath and share on your Twitter and your Facebook. Everyone's welcome on here. We're sort of kicking off for the new season now. We're going to have a lot of watch-alongs on this channel. We'll have season predictions coming up in the next couple of days as well. Always a good video, that. I'm going to think it through this time, though, because the reaction to your season predictions next May was embarrassing, this one, last season. So I'm going to think it through. Yeah, we've spoken about Lukaku. Thank you very much for telling us that he's going to sign for Chelsea. We didn't realise. Slow Sports News with people in the chat. Lukaku to Chelsea. Where's this come from? We've not really heard it for the last few days. Lukaku, Slow Sports News. Coming to a London Chelsea side near you. Yellow tie. Sky Slow Sports News. Lukaku. Chelsea. Oh, more breaking. Sky Sports News, Jim White. We've got more breaking news. Varane. I'm hearing Varane to Manchester United. Deal done. Pending a medical. Sancho soon as well. They have been really slow this summer, haven't they, Sky? I remember when Sky, certainly with United, I don't know about your clubs, I remember the summer that we got Dan, James, Wan-Bissaka and Maguire. That was when Sky Cave, I didn't know who he was before that. He was like bang on. He obviously had a good source at United that summer. Only source they've got this year is Ketchup. They're well slow. Lovely ball out wide here. Pereira's going to get it. Should have whipped across him first time, mate. Goal! Oh, you're having a bloody laugh, mate, there. I'd have buried that. Cross came in. Perez in the 6-yard, just outside the 6-yard box. In his stride. Pass back. Fabrizio is dominating the market. You're right. Ooh, itchy arm on the vaccine. Yeah. I've had my second vaccine. I had it on Thursday. I feel fine. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? I cannot remember now. I don't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, he should have scored there. I think Leicester will win this. Maddison, nice ball in. Harvey Barnes. Good save, keeper. Good save, keeper there from Vardy. Vardy. Knowing United will play Trippier at CDM, says Marshall. I actually think United might play a back five, you know. I got feelings. Got feelings. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. Mark, what do you think about Messi going to PSG? Well, I spoke about it at the start. I think I just feel so sorry for Barcelona. I just think it's a horrible situation. Anthony Johnson, better 100 million signing, Lukaku or Grealish? Look, on that, I just think that it depends what you want at your club. I mean, I'd love to know what Arsenal fans think about that, because as a United fan, I'd take Grealish over Lukaku. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd take Lukaku over Grealish. It depends what you need in your team and how you play. I'd take Grealish over Lukaku because that's what United need more. Chelsea would take Lukaku, quite rightly, because that's what they need more. What would Arsenal take? I think Arsenal need... Can we have both? Can we have both? No! You're not having both. I said pick one. It's like being in a sweet shop when you're a kid, isn't it? And your mum says, you know, you can have a Snickers or a Mars bar. Can I have both? No. We should see Grealish in the second half, by the way. Looking forward to seeing that. I'd like to see a bit of Daka as well. Daka and Samare. Watch out for those. Watch out for those two. I mean, I think that... I would say this. I think the top four, Chelsea, Man City, United, Liverpool, they're favourites, of course. But there is an unknown quantity. You know, look at Leicester. They've always been around the top six for a few years now. And they've brought in Samari and Daka. They've got Harvey Barnes back. They're a well-organised team. They're going to be good. They could be really good. Arsenal, as we said, you know, look, at some point it's going to have to start working, or they're going to have to get rid of the manager. So watch out for them. Tottenham... I'd love to say to Tottenham fans, be positive, but I just don't rate Nuno. Villa. Look at what Villa have done. Bendia, Bailey, Leon Bailey. Who else have they bought? They'll buy another attacking midfielder, of course. They bought Ings in as well. Lukaku. I mean, even West Ham getting that Milenkovic. Is it Milenkovic? He's quite good. Baloo Singh says, Lukaku to Chelsea and Kane to City. Does that mean a clear run for United to get Haaland? No. Because with Erling Haaland, you've got one of the best strikers in the world. Arguably the best signing striker in the world because of his age. Real Madrid will fancy a bit of that. PSG might fancy a bit of that. Why wouldn't they? You know, why not? Juventus might fancy a bit of that. So I don't think it's a clear run. People keep going, oh, well, we'll get Haaland because Real Madrid and Barcelona won't be able to afford it. But in a year's time, things will change around very, very quickly. And also, what I would say about Erling Haaland is whoever gets him, whether it's United or whoever, he'll only be there for 3 years. Lovely ball in. This could be 1-0. Oh, it's wild. Get in the bin. I thought he was better than Sancho. Adrosi. Get in the bin, mate. Better than Sancho. He's not better than Nathan Redmond. Awful. Lovely ball by Gundogan. And he's bottled that. I'm enjoying the chat. Lucy says it's a bit of a boring game. Well, it's a Community Shield game, isn't it? But it's nice to just chat through the season ahead and some of the signings that might be coming in. So keep your questions coming in. Mark, please can you wish me a happy birthday, says Seren. Happy birthday. Good to see Harvey Barnes back. I rate him. I don't think he was ever going to go to the Euros, but unfortunate with that injury towards the end of the season. How will Aubameyang do this year? Says 58 go. I don't know. I think Arsenal are unknown quantity, aren't they, really? Oh, God, England are playing again. Hungary against England on the 2nd of September. Oh, God. 7:15. 7:15. They're playing on the 5th and at 7:15 on the 2nd of September. England are back. They've got 3 games. Oh, God. What's happened to these international breaks with 3 games in them? Having a bloody laugh. Having a bloody laugh. 2nd of September, so that's 14, 21, 28. 3rd. That'd be yesterday, it would be a Friday night. I mean, Aubameyang had a bad season last year, didn't he? But what are Arsenal? I mean, are Arsenal still in for Lautaro Martinez? I mean, look, I'm sure, like many people, I expect Arsenal. I wouldn't surprise me at some point if Arsenal became not a big club because they are a big club, but a big player again. But what is it Arsenal are trying to achieve? Like what is we'll have some Arsenal fans in the chat. What is it Arsenal are trying to achieve in the transfer window in the next 4 weeks and next season? I mean, obviously top 4, but what is it? What is Arteta's plan? If I can tell you Ollie's plan, it was to get a centre back and a right winger, and I think he wants Trippier and maybe another midfielder. That's what his plan is. Obviously, Chelsea and Man City's plan was to get a striker, but I don't know what Arsenal's plan is. I've heard about Lacazette leaving. Would Haaland even want to come because Roy Keane ended his dad's career? Though I've never heard such nonsense in my life. The Roy Keane story is a load of nonsense. Roy Keane's not even valued by United. Like, there's no statue of Roy Keane. There's no relationship with United and Roy Keane. In fact, there's a bad relationship with United and Roy Keane because United are obviously pro Sir Alex, and Sir Alex and Roy Keane don't get on, so that's not a reason. They want a striker and a cam and a right back. Yeah. So you've got Ben White. Alfie says Arsenal's aim is to avoid relegation. So does that mean that they're trying to sell Lacazette? I saw them linked to Lautaro Martinez. If they could get him, what a signing. Because I remember last summer, there was talk of Martinez and 80 million quid. So it'd be a good signing. But I don't know whether they're looking to do it or not. Ben White's overpriced, but Harry Maguire was overpriced. And Harry Maguire's way better than Ben White. But what I'm saying is you can't moan at Ben White for that. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're only 20 subscribers off 489,000 on the road to 500,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. You're very welcome on this channel. Lukaku, here we go, from Romano was a long time ago. Mahrez is a fantastic player. I don't know what... obviously, Sterling's not here as well for Man City. Forgot about him. I don't know what... let's see what happens with this attack. Harvey Barnes. Nice play. Vardy. Oh, corner. I don't know what the Man City plan is. I know they want a striker. Aguero's gone. Bring another striker in. But I don't know what the plan is with their attack. Because with Grealish there, surely you've got to lose a Bernardo Silva, a Raheem Sterling, a Mahrez. One of those, or a Foden. One of those 4 have got to go because they're the wide players. So I don't know. Somebody tell me. Again, we won't get an answer because there are no Man City fans. But are they looking to get rid of... Surely not Mahrez. Certainly not Foden. Are Sterling and Bernardo Silva available? Apparently Bernardo Silva's going. Yeah, I mean, the thing... everyone's saying Bernardo Silva. I didn't know that, so thank you, everyone. I don't follow Man City. I can just about keep up with Chelsea and Liverpool and Arsenal, but Man City transfer news is dead, isn't it? Like, it's just not popular. I don't know why, because they spend more money than anybody, but Man City transfer news, I never see it. Bernardo Silva's an interesting one, because I think Bernardo Silva in a Manchester City shirt is an amazing player. But I watched him in the Euros and I thought he was bang average, and I just wonder whether Bernardo Silva would be a mistake. I don't know where he's going to go, but would it be a mistake for somebody? Because I think Bernardo Silva works really well in a Man City shirt, but I don't know whether he'd work well in a Leicester shirt or an Arsenal shirt, because watching him play for Portugal in the summer, I was like, he's a system player. I think he works well in a system. So I wouldn't, if I was a Spurs or an Arsenal, I wouldn't get too excited about Bernardo Silva, because I'm not convinced that on his own he's going to be as good as he was in the system at Man City. But, you know, I'm sure Arteta would like him. Be very interesting though, won't it? Have you thought about this? If Sterling stays, you've basically got the problem Southgate had. Foden, Sterling, Grealish, best position is all off the left. Bernardo, I like Bernardo Silva, but I just don't think he's. You know, I think if Spurs or Arsenal got Mahrez, I'd be like, whoa, that's a good signing. I think if they got Sterling, I'd be like, ooh, that's a good signing. Not convinced Bernardo Silva would be as impactful as those. Tottenham need a new defence alongside Romero, says Gavand. I worry about Tottenham. I don't really. But you know what I mean? In a footballing sense, I worry about Tottenham because I just don't understand why they've gone for Nuno. And I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. But I just don't know. What's the half-time topic, by the way? We love a half-time topic. Can we have a good half-time topic? It can be... give me one. And I don't want it to be about Premier League predictions. Who's one player that you think looks older than he actually is and one player who actually looks younger than he is? Jordan, I've got no idea. I can't answer that. Thanks for the super chat. I'm sure someone in the chat can do it. Who looks older than they are and who looks younger? Oh, I don't know. Crap cross that. Keeper gets hold of it. Prime Soccer AM or Prime, they think it's all over, says 58 Go. Was that the quiz? They think it's all over. I think I did used to like that. I've never watched Soccer AM. I've never watched Soccer AM. It was never a thing for me. I know it was very popular at one point, but I never watched it. I don't know why. Best crisps or best drink? I'm not doing top 5 chocolate. I wanted it to be football related. We could do breakout team of the year. Who do you think is going to be the surprise team of the year? Best attacking trio predictions in all of Europe, says Jack Ranking. You just want me to say PSG, don't you? We could do top 5 transfers of the summer so far. That'd be good. I'd quite like that one. Top 5 transfers of the summer so far. Yeah. I know we're doing it on speculation, but I still think it'd be good. Best attack. Yeah, I've done that one, Jack. I think Norwich will go straight back down. I don't see how Norwich don't go straight back down. I mean, Billy Gilmore's a good loan signing, but I think Norwich are a bit of a yo-yo team, to be honest. What's your top 3 celebrity girls, says Ivan. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I won't get in any trouble tonight. I tell you what, this has been a very long half, hasn't it? I don't know why. This just feels like the longest half of football I've watched in a long time. Still 10 minutes to go to half time. Cross comes in, headed to the back post, cleared away by Leicester. Bruno was quiet at the Euros. All he is, small team. Oh, Ned, I wish I'd never even seen your chat. Bore off, Ned. Your obsession with Bruno is burning you more than anything you can say that's going to bother me about Bruno. Man United's best player. Simple as that. James Rodriguez. I was talking about James Rodriguez today. One of my favourite players over the last decade, but God has he wasted his talent. I did rate Tevez, Greg. I thought Tevez, you can look at the positives and the negatives. The thing about Tellez was, wherever he played, whether it was West Ham, whether it was United, whether it was City, I'm talking about Premier League, of course, his work rate was unbelievable. Absolutely fantastic work rate. And you can't, you can moan about his attitude when he left United, etc. But on the pitch, his work rate was fantastic. Yeah. Thoughts about Aguero being betrayed? I don't think Aguero's been betrayed. I think Aguero needs to look at the situation at Barcelona and decide whether he wants to stay or not. The reality is, Barcelona and Messi agreed a deal for him to stay. And La Liga rules mean that they can't afford it. And they've been trying to negotiate a way to afford it, and they can't afford it. So Aguero's joined Barcelona thinking Messi's going to be there, and it's not going to happen. But nobody's betrayed Aguero. Circumstances have happened that that both Barcelona and Messi didn't think would actually happen. So maybe Aguero will go elsewhere. But to be honest with you, maybe Aguero should stop throwing his toys out the pram and stay at Barcelona, because where's he going to go? PSG don't want you, mate. So I don't think he's been scammed. You're still at a massive club that's still got good players in it, and I still think Barcelona is a good place for Aguero to be. Where else is he going to go? I mean, there will be plenty of clubs, but what I'm saying is he's not prime Aguero, is he? Here's Man City on the tack again. New York, concrete jungle where dreams await us. There's nothing you can do. 0-0. Someone's just gone down. Idosi is the number 53 for Man City. Palmer has just gone up in the air with Bertrand and hurt him on the back of the head. I don't know where Aguero could go if he doesn't. I'd stay at Barcelona. As long as they can pay you wages, I'd stay at Barcelona. I mean, what a place to play. The new camp, lovely city. You know, he's won most things anyway. So I'm sure he's disappointed that he's not going to play with Messi, though. I get that. I understand. Do I think Grealish will come on? Bash, yes. I think the second half will be better than the first half, because I think we'll see Daka. Yeah, they haven't registered Aguero yet. I mean, the financial issues that they've got at that football club are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they can only blame themselves. I can't have any sympathy with Barcelona, the football club. I can have sympathy with the fans, because it's always the fans that suffer. But in relation to their financials, I mean, you know, did they not see this coming? Because a lot of other people did. We will do Arsenal next watch along yet. I think we're doing the Super Cup as well on Wednesday. Villarreal against Chelsea. Lukaku could be making his debut in that game. In fact, why wouldn't he? He's had a pre-season, hasn't he? So he'll want to get going. What does it mean for Werner? Well, I think Werner becomes the bench option. Giroud and Tammy Abraham will go, and Werner will become the bench option, I suppose. Pep's just been booked. This Man City Cup is definitely giving off EE Cup vibes, isn't it? You know, the ones that Spencer used to do, Spencer FC, the EE Cup. It's very, very like that. Nice little ball there. Mahrez. Terrible shot. At half-time, we're going to do top 5 transfers of the summer so far. So I'm going to need some contenders. But not yet. Not yet. I'm going to stretch my back as well. IMAX just told me to do that. And he's right. It does need doing. There is an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand tonight. We've been busy talking football on the United Stand today, but we have got a transfer show at 8 o'clock tonight. Lots to get in. Catherine, don't care. And Chelsea play 3-4-2. I love it how people say, Mark, you're 10 seconds behind. Whoever's saying it, you're thick. I'm on YouTube live streaming. YouTube doesn't give you a second for second live streaming. You know, there's going to be a bit of delay. Can't rate transfers properly until the end of season. Well, I can and I will. So you know, that's going to happen. Dean, which 5 teams will surprise us this season? 5. Bit boring that. Good tackle by Mendy. Oh, although he's come off worse and he's got up. Bartomeu ruined Barcelona so much that he nearly got in prison, literally, says Jens Jensen. Here's this lad. I can't pronounce his name. Idiosu, is it? What is it? Adosi, that's it. Adosi. Gundogan shoots over. Do I think Liverpool will sign Mbappe? Says Rachel. Well, apparently he wants to leave, but I think Real Madrid is where he will go, isn't it? Mark, do you think Ollie needs to take a look at what Pep does with the younger players? Because Pep lets young players play. Do you think Ollie should do the same, says MG? Yes, I do. It's a good point, and I agree with it. Do you get tired streaming, says Paris? I am tired today, but this, if you think about it, in a normal, when the season's up and running normally, I do sometimes do 2 streams a day. But I'm, you know, I must admit I'm fine. Like, I'm not going to fall asleep, but I have felt it a bit today because I did the United watch along and now I'm doing this. And I'm used to doing it when the season's up and running, but obviously I've had... it's been a few months since I've done that. Although in the Euros I was doing it as well. Ethan says, do I think Liverpool will make any more transfers? I'd have to listen to Liverpool fans about that. I don't know why. And I mean, the only observation I'd make about Liverpool, let's just see what happens with this attack. Harvey Barnes, that's got to be a foul. No, he's not giving it. Bloody hell. The ref's a Man City fan. Although Bertrand picks it up. Forward he comes. Maddison. Into Barnes. Vardy! What a save onto the post. Oh, how's he missed? How has he missed that? I mean, it's one of those saves where you say it's a great save, but realistically, it could have gone anywhere. He's made himself big. That's what she said. And we'll have to wait for the replay, but Vardy should score from it's not a great connection from Vardy. It's a lovely cross by Barnes. And Bertrand, well done as well. But Vardy should be scoring that. Pereira. Gundogan will clear it, and we'll get to see the chance again, surely. Watch Outer Banks on Netflix. It's good. What's it about, iMac? We need more than that. They've still not shown it back yet. And now it's Man City on the break. Idiosu or whatever, Adosi. Can't pronounce it. Not going to be able to. And the referee blows up for half time. So it's 0-0 at half time, but we're just waiting to see this chance. Here it is. Bertrand brings it forward. Switches it to Maddison. Slips in Harvey Barnes. Onside, onside, onside. Cross comes in. Vardy. I mean, keeper does really well. Keeper does really well. Vardy on the half volley. I mean, to be fair, Vardy does very well as well. I don't think there's much you can do there. It's just a very, very good save by the keeper. It ends up going onto the post as well, but the keeper does a good job. He deserves that bit of luck. It's a very, very good save. Very good save. 0-0 at half time. Well saved. Well saved by Stefan, the backup goalkeeper. Let me just stop the clock. So yeah, not a lot to talk about in that first half. In fact, the best chat has been the non-match chat, really, hasn't it? We've spoken about quite a lot of things. But what we are going to talk about now is the top 5 transfers of the transfer window so far. Obviously, there's going to be more transfers to come. And I think in relation to transfers, you never know how good the transfer is until they start playing. But on paper, what are the top 5 transfers of the summer so far? We will write down contenders first. Obviously, I think Jadon Sancho, Manchester United, is a contender, as is Varane. Varane for me is one of the top 5 centre-backs in the world. £34 million. And Jadon Sancho, one of the best up-and-coming attacking young talents in the world. 74 million. So those two go in straight away as well. Konate, people are saying Konate. So Konate was 34 million as well from Leipzig. Yeah, happy to throw him in. Donnarumma on a free. I mean, I'd rather keep it Premier League. I think we'll keep it Premier League. I'm not really interested in PSG and their, picking up people on a free. So I'm not doing free. We can forget that. We're not doing Messi or anything like that. Grealish for 100 million. Well, it's a consideration. So we've got a Grealish 100 million. Price has got to be part of it as well. So we've got Grealish, Sancho, Varane, Canate. How much did Villa play for Leon Bailey? Because I think that's a or Danny Ings. That's another good one as well. Lukaku's going to be 100 million. So we'll put him in as well. I want a bit more of a list than this. Danny Ings was 25 million, wasn't he? The absence of Ben White is causing Arsenal fans to sweat here. I don't know how much let's do Danny Ings first before people are just chucking names in. So Danny Ings, how much did they pay for Danny Ings? 25 million. So Ings is definitely a candidate at 25 million. What we're looking for is the top 5 signings of the transfer summer window so far, and we will be looking at things like value, quality of player, age, ability, everything like that, and the club that's done it as well. So all of those things make a difference. So how much did they play for Romero? How much did Spurs play for Romero? Christian Romero. How much did they pay for him? Daka for 30 million. I don't really know enough about the lad really to know whether that's a good deal or not. 30 million pounds is a lot of money, considering Liverpool have paid 34 million for Canate and United have paid 34 million for Varane. 42 million for Romero, and you're telling me that's a good deal? We'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see. Tom Heaton says darts. Come on, get some more contenders. Bendia for 30 million. 35 million. Leon Bailey was 35 million as well, wasn't he? 35 million for him as well. Serie A's best centre-back. I think Chiellini and Bonucci would like a word with him. Ben White. I don't think Ben White's going to make top 5. And I'm not bantering Arsenal here, but I don't think Ben White can be top 5 transfers of the summer. And I think any Arsenal fan with a brain cell knows that. Not because he's not a bad signing, but because they overpaid for him. And he's not as good as most of the players that we've mentioned. So I think Ben White could be a really good signing for Arsenal, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5. Because I don't think he's good value for money. And I don't think he's better than Romero, Canate, Grealish, Ings, Varane. So I don't think he can make the top 5, to be fair. I think if they get Lautaro Martinez and they get him for around 40 million, I'd put him in. I think that'd be a brilliant bit of business. Is it me or was Fernandinho very poor that half? Well, it is pre-season, S. Ahmed, it is. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've whizzed past 489. We're on the road to 490. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Everyone's welcome on this channel. Not the United stand, that's football. Everybody's welcome on here. It doesn't matter who you support. So come on. Somebody said Juan Mata's contract extension has to be up there. Samari, I don't think we could put Samari in because I don't think enough people know anything about him, Druv. But I do think he's a good signing. Areola is a loan for West Ham, I think, RNG Gaming. I don't think it's a full deal. Gilmore is definitely a loan, so that's not a transfer. I don't count loans as transfers. Kunde's not done yet, so we can't really assess that. We're not doing non-Premier League deals. Lokango to Arsenal, says President Lopi. Don't know anything about him, so can't really say it's a good signing. Chiesa to Liverpool hasn't happened, so keep dreaming. And won't happen. Damari Gray and Townsend, says Joseph Ball. Well, I don't think they're of the quality that's been mentioned already, but they might work out well. Brian Gill says Connor Linnett. We'll see. Anderson to Palace, says Cable. Didn't know that had happened. Did they pay money for him? Mate, don't get too carried away by today. Let's see how you turn up against Leeds, says Zayn Miasi. I'm not getting carried away by it, mate. Awar to Arsenal, not done. So the contenders that we have are Lukaku, Grealish, Sancho, Varane, Canate, Ings, Romero, Bendia, Bailly. Bailey. You can do your top 5. I'm going to do my top 5. So my top 5 transfers of the summer so far are this. Let me just rank them. So I think that... One, 3, 4, 2, 5. Okay, I've got my top 5. So in 5th place, I've got Lukaku to Chelsea for 100 million quid. Look, I might look an idiot, but I'm judging these simply on their transfers. I think it shows Chelsea's intent to always try and win. He is one of the top strikers in the world at the moment. They do need that final piece. And I think for £100 million, when you consider it will cost 150 to get Kane, it will cost 150 to get Haaland, I think Lukaku makes a lot of sense for Chelsea. So I'd put that in at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to give a shout out to a smaller club. I'm going to give it to Danny Ings and Aston Villa. I think for £25 million, Danny Ings is a player that would do a decent job at a Spurs or an Arsenal or as a bench player for a Man United or a Chelsea. So for Aston Villa to get a player like that, who is part of the England squad normally when he's fit, for £25 million, I think that's a great bit of business for Aston Villa, and it just shows you that you can be in the top 5 summer transfer windows as a club like Aston Villa when you do good business like that. So I would put Lukaku 5th, Ings number 4. These are my top 5s. You can do yours, of course, and I'll read some of them out. In 3rd place, I put Jadon Sancho to Manchester United for 74 million. I think that Jadon Sancho is in that category as being one of the top 5 best young attacking players in the world with the potential to be world class. I think for £74 million, when you think of what Lukaku has cost and what Grealish has cost, I think that's good value for money. And I think what he's done in Germany and the Champions League since a very young teenager over the last few years shows his quality. So I think Sancho at number 3. Number 2 might surprise people, but I'm going to put Jack Grealish in as £100 million to Manchester City. People will say, well, it's a lot of money, but I can only be envious of Manchester City for this deal. I think £100 million is the right, was the only, well, I don't know whether it's the right price. It was the only price you were going to get Jack Grealish for. You weren't going to get him for 90. You were going to have to pay £100 million. And I think for Jack Grealish, for me, he is the player that, outside of Manchester United, would probably be one of my favourite players in the Premier League. I think he's an amazing talent. I think it's very sad that he's left Aston Villa, but they've got amazing money for him. He's going to be playing Champions League. Pep Guardiola, the best manager in the world, arguably, wants him to go and play at Manchester City. I just think it's a good deal all round, apart from for Villa, but at least they've been recompensed. And then number 1, element of bias, but my number 1 signing of the summer so far is definitely Rafael Varane. You are getting a top 5 centre-back in the world who's won 4 Champions Leagues. He's a World Cup winner. He's won numerous La Ligas as well. He's still only 28 years of age, and you're getting him for £34 million. I think it's an absolute steal. I think it fits perfectly for what United needed. And I just think it's an amazing deal on paper. Obviously, it doesn't mean it won't flop, but I think it's an amazing deal on paper. I would give Liverpool a shout out for Konate. I think £34 million for Konate is an amazing deal. He's at the other spectrum, really, other end of the spectrum. Young, but definitely a player that I would have been happy to take at United. So I think £34 million for him. I think Leon Bailey, again, another one for Villa, is a fantastic signing. And there's a lot of people like Romero to Spurs, and obviously Bendia, another one at Villa, that I look at with interest. Daka at Leicester, Samaria at Leicester, who could end up being good signings. But look, we'll probably revisit that in a year and say who was the top 5 signings of the summer. Because if I said to you who were the best signings of last summer, I would have thought Van der Beek would have figured in there. It's interesting how you think about, mean, who was the signing? I think Martinez at Villa, the goalkeeper, was arguably the signing of the summer. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Who did Man City buy last summer? Ake didn't work. Ferran Torres, come see, come saw. You look at Chelsea's signings. Havertz came good towards the end. Werner wasn't as good as I thought he was going to be. But so it doesn't always work out. You know, these players we're putting in here now probably won't be there by the time we get to next summer as the top 5 players. Diaz was fantastic, of course. Diaz was very good. So yeah, I think Diaz, Martinez. Who else who got bought in? I can't remember if Arsenal bought somebody, didn't they? It wasn't Pepe last year, was it? Partey didn't work. I think it will work, but his first year didn't work. But yeah, I thought Martinez at Villa, fantastic. Obviously, Ruben Diaz. Cavani as a free transfer was interesting. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one. Rafinha at Leeds was very, very good. Yeah, but probably the obvious ones. I think a lot of people would have said Thomas Partey. I think a lot of people, United fans, would have said Van der Beek. Doesn't always work out, does it? Fofana at Leicester was fantastic. So, yeah, very interested. The big match revisited next Saturday at 10:40 on RTV4. I'll be watching match at that day. Andy Carroll. I'll tell you what, Andy Carroll used to get me a lot of points on Fantasy Premier League back in day. Right, players should be coming out for the second half now. There is a penalty shootout in Community Shield. I do remember that from years gone by. So, yes, definitely. Partey was injured a lot. Grealish is not on for the second half yet. I'm sure he will come on at some point. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 490,000. Koundé has to be in the top 5. You've not even bought him yet, Charlie. How can you put a player in the top 5 when you've not even done it yet? Come on. Use your brain. You've not even agreed a fee with Sevilla yet. I'm sure you will do, but I can't put him in there at the moment. And before anybody says you've not agreed a deal with Varane, we have. We have agreed a deal with Varane. He's in bloody Manchester. We've agreed a deal with Real Madrid. It's been announced. We've just got to officially do the medical. You're not at that point yet. But I do like Koundé. So I'm not going to dispute that. I do like Koundé. Kufal, what a signing he was, Jaden. Cracking shout there. Yeah, well done. That there is a very good shout. A very, very good shout. Players coming out onto the pitch. Timer. What's everyone doing tonight? Well, I have got an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand. All your latest news, transfer news, social comments about players, etc. We'll be covering that at 8 o'clock. And what else? Probably watch a film tonight. Yeah. Because I'm knackered. All this talking, I'm not used to it. Come on, Leicester players, get on the pitch. I like it when someone does that. What's he saying? Why is no one talking about Vardy's amazing signing last season? You might want to check when Vardy signed for Leicester, mate. They won the league with them a few years ago. Tyler's going out to drink after watching you. I've not been out for drinking in ages, actually. Yeah. Come on, Leicester. They're acting like bloody PSG. Get on the pitch. Vardy's just had a can of Red Bull. Because he's a bloody bloke. He's mad for it. Does anybody think that Arsenal will get Vardy? Arsenal will get... Arsenal nearly did get Vardy a few years ago, didn't they? Does anybody think that Maddison will actually go to Arsenal? Is that actually quite likely to happen? Barry Bannon. Whatever happened to Barry Bannon? I know he went to Palace, but I remember watching Barry Bannon play for Villa in a game against United, and he was pulling the strings. I don't know what happened to him. He was pulling more strings than a puppet master. Which is basically why that happens. IMAX says Maddison wouldn't downgrade. A lot of yeses, a lot of no's there. So I don't know. Don't know what's happening there. Right, we've kicked off for the second half. Hopefully we'll get to see a goal. And hopefully we'll get to see Daka, Samori and Grealish in the second half. 3 of the new signings. 1 for City, Grealish. 2 for Leicester, Daka and Samori. But this could go to penalties. Don't really want to see another penalty shootout at Wembley, to be honest with you. Patrick says, people said Partey would not come as well. The same with Pepe as well. Arsenal can do mad things in the transfer window. They just can't do it on the pitch. Andy and Bruno, Mark, my top 3 would be 3rd, Samare, 2nd, Zings, 1st, Varane. Based on value for money and talent, says Andy and Bruno. Thanks for the super chat. There you go. You can do your super chats through the $sign if you so wish. Thank you very much. There is a press conference tomorrow morning for Barcelona, but I presume that's just going to be a goodbye. Oh, I thought he'd beat him with the cross there. Man City, the young lad. I feel like I should get to know this lad, Adosi, by Googling his name and telling you some facts, because apparently he's been tearing it up in pre-season. He's 18 years of age. He was only 18 years old. He was only 18 years old. He was only 18 years old, and he has not got a Wikipedia page yet. He has not got a Wikipedia page yet, so I cannot tell you much about him. But he was only 18 years old, and I will not bury another Batman. I will not bury another Batman. 18, Samuel Adosi. 18 years of age. Citizenship of England and Nigeria. Left winger. Been at Man City. He's been at Millwall. Adosi. There you go. And he was only 18 years old. It was only 18 years old. You talking to me? Bada bing, bada boom. Never disrespect me. Heard United are linked with Palace wonder kid. Says Ned. I haven't. Proud moment for the Indian fans. Boy with the golden arm, says Siddhant. I'm aware. He's not won it at darts. He's won it at javelin. I'm disappointed with the Olympics, you know. I really do normally enjoy the Olympics, but I just think that the timing and the lack of fans has just... I've missed so much of it. It's over tomorrow as well. When was the 100 metres final? Like, is it just not an event anymore? I just don't have any idea when anything was happening. Grealish is warming up, yeah. That's the money shot, isn't it? Get him on. Get Grealish on. Slow Sports News. Tom Heaton to Manchester United, expected to be announced in the next 3 months. Here's Barnes. He's had a good game. I think Leicester should have done a little bit more, though. This is a weakened Man City side. Obviously, you know, they've got Palmer and that young lad up front. Ake at the back. Mendy. It's not their strongest team by a long way. Of course, they kick off against Spurs next Sunday. Nice reverse pass, Vardy. Good block by Diaz. Slow Sports News. Phil Jones to Newcastle for a packet of quavers and a post-it note. Mahrez. Good tackle. Never a foul. He won the bloody ball, didn't he? Player from local team. Whoa. No. Good decision. Player from my local team called Fernande Mende looks identical to Furland Mende. Both wear number 23 and they both play left back, says you in black. There you go. But what's the Real Madrid lad? Is he Furlan Mendy as well? It was a bad tackle, Dan Gaming. I put my hand up. I thought he got the ball. He didn't. So good free kick opportunity here. Very, very central. Just in front of the D. For Man City. Mahrez is on it. He was fouled. He will shoot against his former club. Furland Mendy, yeah. I mean, it looks like Zaha's staying at Palace again, isn't it? I really thought he would. I mean, I've got him at Everton on my FIFA career mode, but check it out on Twitch, Goldbridge TV. But yeah, he just can't get out of Palace, can he? I think Mahrez should hit this. He won't beat Schmeichel from there though. Over the bar, terrible free kick. It's so funny that Goldbridge gets more views and reactions than the actual City channel Oil Club, says Angie S. No one can afford Zaha, says Vandy Candy. Oh, my back is hurting me. I'm not doing a dad dance. I've got bad lower back pain today, so I have to. This is the thing that my chiropractor told me to do. You're sort of just moving your lower back. God, it's really hurting me today. Thoughts on Leicester, Mark, says Mills. What, the place or the club? I presume you mean the club. Top 6 finish, not top 4 again. I don't think they can do that, to be honest with you. But I might be wrong. I think consistency is going to be so key this year. And I think teams like Man City and Chelsea will probably do something stupid like win every game. Goldometer, says Kieran. My prediction is that Man City look like they're going to score first here. I'd probably say 70% sure Man City will score first. I'm not doing Fantasy Premier League, no. I don't make false promises, so I'm not going to do something that I know I'll drop out of. Could Man City go invincible? Don't start upsetting Arsenal fans before the season's even started. You know, to be fair, 20 teams could go invincible at the moment. It's the most sweaty time for Arsenal fans, isn't it? Because anybody could do it. But do I think Man City will go invincible? No. I think there's too many good teams this year. And look, you know the thing about the invincible thing that Arsenal did? I will put my hand up and say it was very impressive. It's nowhere near as good as winning the treble. But there is a hint in how you become invincible. Because Arsenal were invincible, but they drew 12 games. Like 12 games. That's nearly a third of their games they drew. And I think to be invincible, it's not about winning every game. And I think the way that Man City would try and do it is they'd try and win every game, or Liverpool would try and win every game. And I think what Arsenal did is they basically made sure, I mean, they were good enough to win every game, but they also got to a point where it was like, that's why they drew some games, because sometimes it was about, look, we've got to be defensive as well. So I think it's very hard to be invincible, because I think people think, oh, Man City are going to be invincible because they're so good. But it's not. Being invincible isn't just about being a good attacking side. You've got to be able to shut up shop and take a draw. And I don't know that there's many. To be honest with you, I think Prime Mourinho's probably got more chance of being invincible than Pep, because although Man City have become a very good defensive side, but yeah, it's not just about being a good attacking side. It's not just about winning. You've got to be able to not lose and draw those games where you're not that good. Martinelli has won more trophies than Greenwood. Now he has a gold. Greenwood is just not that guy, says AS. God, can we stop comparing Martinelli to Greenwood? I thought it was Xhaka to Greenwood now. I mean, Arsenal fans, decide on one player and let Greenwood beat him. When is Grealish coming on? I'm keeping an eye, Tom. Keeping an eye out. I'd say I'll be on for like the last half an hour. I'm also looking forward to seeing a bit of Daka and Samori as well. really have spent the last couple of years talking about Samari on the United stand. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do in the Premier League. He might be crap. Oh, Gundogan volleys, smacks it over the bar from the edge of the box. Leicester are definitely the underdogs here at the moment. They're not really getting in the game much. Here's a question for the chat. Who do you think's better, Sancho or Grealish? And why? Noah says, what are the chances of Arsenal getting relegated? No chance. You got no chance. That's what you got. No chance. Arsenal are too good to get relegated. Those things always make me laugh. Like, you know when a decent team has a bad start to the season. Most people in the chat are saying Sancho. That's probably because there aren't many Man City fans. I think if that had been asked 3 months ago, you'd get a very different perspective. Look, I think at times I've said I'd prefer Grealish over Sancho to United, so I can't dismiss it. Obviously now I say Sancho's better than Grealish because Grealish plays for City and Sancho plays for United, but they're both good players. I mean, ideally I'd have one playing on the left for England and one playing on the right. That's how I would do it, but we are blessed with a lot of attacking talent for England. I mean, on the Grealish point of view, it'd be very interesting because I think it's very easy for Southgate to bench Grealish when he's playing for Aston Villa. Is it easy for him to bench Grealish when he's playing in the Champions League, £100 million player for Man City? Be interesting if he gets treated any different. Mahrez, this should be a goal. Oh, good tackle by Tielemans. He should have hit it earlier there. Harvey Barnes as well. Goes wide to Maddison. Back into Barnes. Up against Aki. Wins the corner. Well done. Good breakaway. Everyone's talking about the financial mess Barcelona is in, but hardly anyone's talking about Inter Milan. There's a fire sale going on there. Lesson for Premier League clubs to spend wisely. Thoughts, Mark, says Ami. Yes and no. I mean, the Premier League sits on a crown of gold at the moment, whereas the La Liga and Serie A sits on a pile of shit. Because basically the Premier League is just the best league in the world. There's so much money in it. I mean, one of the things that really interests me. Akrama says, what channel is it on in America? I don't know. Sancho for sure. Look at the stats, says Joseph. In the Premier League, there's so much money rolling in that financial problems are not unlikely, but easier to ride out. But Inter Milan and Barcelona, it's harder for them to get out of the financial issues. Oh, Mahrez is one-on-one. City on City. Oh, look at the pace. Look at the pace to get back from Ndidi there. Magnificent. Magnificent from Ndidi. Magnificent. Schmeichel's there giving him a hug. Pereira as well. I tell you what, Man City are brilliant at this though. Breaking away from conceding a corner. Time and time again last year. But Mahrez can't finish. Good work back by Pereira and Ndidi. But yeah, I just think that Inter Milan and the Serie A and La Liga, this is why Juventus and Barcelona and Real Madrid want the Super League. Because they just can't generate the funds in their leagues that the Premier League does. So the Premier League's going to get richer and richer. Obviously PSG are a threat and Bayern Munich are a threat because, you know, Bayern Munich's a very well-run club and PSG is a very rich club. But the Serie A and La Liga, I just think it's very difficult for them at the moment because the money is not in La Liga and it's not in Serie A. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, they needed that Super League. They did. You can see why. And I think they'll keep pushing for one in one way or another. But you know what? Teams like Villa and Leicester could be teams to watch out. You know, you know, in the grand scheme of things, you look at it probably 5 years ago. Who's a bigger club, Villa or Inter Milan? Leicester or AC Milan? Well, Inter Milan and AC Milan are bigger clubs than Leicester and Aston Villa, but who are richer? who's got a better future? Well, Leicester and Villa are in the Premier League. So money's the thing at the moment. And the Premier League as a brand is a superb brand. I mean, look, as I said to you, I look at the fixtures next weekend and I'm like, I can't wait. Friday night, Brentford against Arsenal. Saturday lunchtime, my club, United against Leeds. 3 o'clock kickoffs, you know. Just can't wait. Can't you wait, man? Rudra says, do you think Kane is trapped at Spurs? I don't know. I think when Harry Kane announced that he was sort of wanting to go at the start of the summer, I thought, oh, he must have a buyer. One thing you can't do with Daniel Levy and Spurs is just think you're going to get out unless you know you're going to get out, you know? Tom says that Man City youngster is one to look out for. I don't think he'll get much game time this year, though, do you? Mahrez, another corner. Harry Potter's better than Harry Kane, says Pornesh. He could do with his invisibility cloak. But I mentioned this about 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. I call it the golden cage. And, you know, certain players are getting out of the golden cage at the moment, but there are certain players who are stuck in the golden cage. Harry Kane is stuck in the golden cage. He's under a very big contract at Spurs. He'd love to go somewhere else. He's 28. He knows it's almost now or never to go to a club where he's going to win things, and he wants to go. But he's under a big contract, and can anybody really afford him? So he's in a golden cage. Neymar at PSG, I mean, I think Neymar's happy at PSG, but he's in a golden cage. You can't just say, I'm going to go, because who can afford him? Ronaldo at Juventus, to a certain extent, is in a golden cage as well, because nobody can afford him. And he would like to go, and Juventus would like to sell him. So you do end up with these players in this, you know, it's the flip side of the massive amount of money that's in football. Grealish is very lucky in a way because it was going to take £100 million to leave Villa. If you listen to the Villa CEO, he said, we didn't want to sell Grealish and we set the release clause at a price that we thought nobody else could pay. Unfortunately, Man City have paid it. So, the young lad's got a bit of cramp now. And Diddy is a fantastic player, Cameron. He will not be leaving Leicester. Right, Grealish is coming on. Just reading a book. Has it got pictures, mate? Has it got pictures in it, mate? I like Spot the Dog, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I'm from Acock's Green. I don't think he is, actually. Can I have a cup of tea at the end of the game, like, mate? Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's extraordinary. £100 million. £100 million. Only ever had £10 in my bank account when I was a young lad. Chelsea are favourites for me now, says Weston. Here comes Grealish anyway. I'm hoping we're going to see Samari and Daka as well. Hopefully. Here he comes. Grealish is coming on. Does it suit him? I think that kit suits him because it's not far off kits he's worn for Villa in England, is it? I'm not sure about the light blue. There they are, though. Young Man City fans. That's what that'll be. They'll love that. Rodri's coming on as well. So Grealish is on. Phil Jones is in the golden cage as MSJ. And yeah, he loves it. Yeah, some people like being in the golden cage. He probably doesn't love it, to be fair, really. I mean, his injury record probably pisses him off. But 80 grand a week, it's not all about the money, is it? Professional pride and all that. Mahrez has been very good for Man City again. Chelsea or Arsenal, who do you think are bigger, Mark? Says John Claude. I think Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea, aren't they? I mean, not just in relation to stadia, but you could... Wow, you know what? Actually, it's a very good question. It's a very good question because Chelsea's... It's not recent history. Chelsea need a bigger stadium, don't they? That's the thing with Chelsea. They need a bigger stadium because Stamford Bridge isn't very big. But they've won the Champions League twice. I don't know what they're like for league titles. You could argue Chelsea are bigger. So it's an interesting debate. I don't think just because Chelsea have won European trophies make them bigger though, because Aston Villa have won a European trophy. Man City haven't. Arsenal haven't. But I think the thing with Chelsea is, if they had a bigger ground, I think that would make a big difference. Because fan base wise, Chelsea's fan base is a lot bigger than you'd think. It is. Worldwide fan base, Chelsea is huge. So it could be Chelsea. But I don't know. I mean, if that's the sort of thing that rocks your boat, party on. But for me, as a fan of a club that's bigger than most clubs in the world, but we don't win things, I don't really care about how big the club is, you know. I just want us to get back to being good on the pitch. Because Man United's a massive club. There's no club bigger than Man United in England. And people can say, oh yeah, but they're not. There's no club bigger than Manchester United in England. But we're not winning anything. Chelsea are huge in America, Sam. You're right, and not just because of Pulisic. They've been massive in America for a long time. Here's Grealish winning the throw-in. Very interested, envious to see how Jack Grealish fits into a Man City system. Because at Villa, it's about him getting the ball and being greedy with the ball because he's the creator, isn't he? Is he going to fit in? But then again, Sterling's the same. Sterling likes to get the ball and run with it. I'm starving. What's everyone having for tea? What's everyone having for tea? What's everyone having for tea tonight? I've just played 20 minutes for City and then I'm going to go out and get a pizza and probably watch a film. Heat or Dumb and Dumber. Nice ball into Faraday. Steak and chips, says Jamie. Banging. Saturday night. Saturday night. Dan. I've almost had enough of the summer now. Get me to the autumn and steak and chips. Starts to get dark at 5 o'clock. Full-time results are coming in. Love it. My favourite, when I'm having steak and chips, is Grealish. Bit greedy. Too greedy there. You'll have to stop that. When I'm having steak and chips, lasagna, says Alabi. Ooh, honey mustard chicken and rice, says Darren Dickinson. I don't know what I've got tonight. Chinese, curry. Louis having a Chinese. Liam's having a curry. Pizza, says Tom. Ribeye with a baker, says Joe Blue. Stew and dumplings, says Kenny. I've not had that for ages. I do like dumplings. When I have steak and chips, this is what's on my form. This is my formation, right? I'll have steak, chips, yes. I have beans, yes. Onion rings, yes. A poached egg and a bit of gravy. Love it. So it's poached egg, steak, chips, beans, onion rings. And sometimes some mushrooms. Don't get better than that. I might do that on Cooking with Goldbridge. Why have I not done that on Cooking with Goldbridge? The best steak and chips. Smoked cod with rice, says Matthew Kelly. Can't beat a bit of fish. Here's Grealish again on the left. That's not Grealish, it's Palmer. Beans and gravy, yeah. Here we go. 4 substitutions for Leicester. I think Daka's coming on. I think Samari's coming on. Perez is going off. Albrighton's coming on. Get off, Perez. You've been shit. Well, it's nice to get 20 minutes. Could have a penalty shootout here. Vardy's going off as well for Daka. Interested to see what he's all about. I mean, Iheanacho was starting games for them before, wasn't he? Maddison comes off. Dewsbury Hall comes on. And Samare will probably come on for Tillemans, I would have thought, yeah. I'm right. Are we going to get a late winner or are we going to get penalties? So we've got all the good signings on now. Daka's on for Leicester. Get 20 minutes to look at him. Samari's on for Leicester in the midfield. And Grealish is on for City. 0-0 in the Community Shield here. Will we get a winner? I'm starving. I'm so hungry. Gonna have something to eat and then I'll do the 8 o'clock show on United Stand. Have a stretch, Mark, says Matthew Kelly. Girl, I want to make you stretch. Stretch till you can't stretch no more. And when you... I don't like that song, actually. Don't know why I'm singing it. Palmer into Grealish. 2 players on him. As well, Palmer. Cross is good. And cleared away. I think with Daka, the hope is that he's just going to be a bit of a Vardy replacement, isn't he? Nice ball over the top. And Schmeichel does well. Oh, shut up, Schmeichel, you moany shit. Bloody hell. Poor old lad, Ferran Torres, goes for a 50-50 with Schmeichel, which he's got every right to do. And Schmeichel's moaning about him going for it. Come on. Nothing in that. If it goes to penalties, Grealish will miss, says Chelsea FC. Well, loads of people will want penalties now. Leicester have been quite poor second half, to be fair. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. We're getting close to 490,000 on the road to 500,000. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We have daily content on this channel, normally topical reaction to things that are going on. In fact, I'm going to do a video after this about Lukaku. But watch-alongs are back now, of course. And we've got... God, what's going on with his hair? That reminds me, I need to mop the toilet. Another youngster. Ferran Torres. Knight comes on. And Bernardo Silva's coming on as well. For so Ben Knight's coming on. 96. He's not 96. He's... he plays for... He's a youngster. Palmer comes on for Bernardo Silva. Straight to penalties. Yeah, God, you don't want extra time. Yeah, please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're 300 off 490,000 on the road to 500,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Everyone's welcome on this channel. Thank you very much. Who do you think United will start if we play 5 at the back? Oh, God, I don't want to think about it, Marshall. And who do you think will have a breakthrough season this year? I think Havertz will come to the party. Yeah, I think Havertz was sort of getting strong towards the end of last season. Watch-alongs this week. We've got the Arsenal-Brentford game, first Premier League game on Friday, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll be live for that. And also on Wednesday night, we're going to do the Super Cup, which is between Villarreal and Chelsea, which is an 8 o'clock kickoff on Wednesday. So tune in for that one. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Chelsea should win that. Villarreal are not that good. Even though they beat us and Arsenal, I think we both know we should not have lost those games. Taking nothing away from Villarreal, they deserve to win both, but Arsenal and United bottled it. Could have been United BK, yeah. We could. I tell you what, we could have done with that bloody game as well. As a pre-season, competitive, that would have been nice. I like these Community Shields and Super Cups because they're they are friendlies, but they're a step up. I don't think Villarreal are very good, TDJ. You can say they're good if you like. I don't think they are. Sue me. 15 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see how Chelsea line up next season, really. They'll definitely play with the sort of 3 centre-backs. I think that's why they're bringing Koundé in, and I think he fits that very well. They'll have their two wing-backs, 2 holding midfielders, and then they'll play with a front 3, won't they? Lukaku behind, I presume, a Mount and one other. Could be Pulisic, could be Havertz, could be Ziyech. Do you think Southampton will get relegated? Says Veek. I think you made a good observation there. I think you've made a very good observation there because Southampton without Danny Ings, Bertrand's left as well. If they lose Ward-Prowse, I think Hasenhüttl's a good manager, but at that level you can't keep losing players like that. Mount will play in the midfield alongside Kante. What, you're going to drop Jorginho and Kovacic? Don't think so. Here's Grealish. No foul. Refs have figured him out already. There's Daka. Quick, but not quick enough. Grealish getting a bit of stick for diving. Well, I think Villa fans will probably be a bit more blunt about the fact that he does put a dive in every now and again. Will Villa get Europe, says Will Scott. I mean, it's almost hard not to get Europe now, isn't it? What the bloody hell are Spurs doing? What's that tournament that Spurs are playing in? Somebody tell me. I've got no idea what the Conference League is. Iheanacho's coming on now. Bertrand's coming off for, is it Thomas? What happened to Justin? I know he had a bad injury, but he was very, very good at Leicester. I don't know whether he's back from his injury yet, but he was very good. Did you see that qualifying round for the Conference League and one of the teams had to draw their numbers on the back? Gilmour could be the standout player next season, says Mark. Yeah, he could be, Mark. He could be. He's injured. He's still injured, Justin. It was an ACL. Yeah, that's a shame. He's not back till next year. Bloody hell. That's a bit worrying when you're a young player like that with an injury like that. Hopefully he makes a full recovery. They've had a lot of bad luck with injuries, haven't they, Leicester? I mean, Harvey Barnes' injury was quite long. Fofana, Johnny Evans is obviously injured as well, isn't he? Because I've not seen him playing for a while. Ooh, looks like it's going to be penalties. Does it make sense to play Van der Beek as a CDM if we don't sign anyone? He played as CDM for Ajax in some games. Says Abhishek. I think he could play that role better than Fred. Yeah, straight to penalties, Community Shield. No messing about. Alfie's watching from Singapore. Shout out to Alfie. Yeah, I don't know how long Fofana's out for, but I would imagine back end of next season. Not next season, back end of the season. Looked like it was a broken leg, didn't it? In a pre-season game as well. That's That's a real head mess, isn't it? You know. Picking up a bloody potentially season-ending injury in bloody pre-season. Johnny Evans hasn't retired, has he? No, he hasn't retired. Yeah, Grealish will take a penalty, I would hope. Be funny if he missed one. Nuclear Atom says this feels like a long game. United are wasting Van der Beek like they did with Di Maria, says Ronan Murphy. Grealish is on. Big. I mean, on a serious note, though, it's big expectations for Grealish, isn't it? £100 million. I mean, he might not be the biggest transfer record if Kane does go, but it's a lot of money. And you know, I call it the Matt Letizia deal, because Matt Letizia, a lot of you won't remember. You'll know him from like being on Sky and stuff. He was a genius at Southampton, Matt Letizia, and he never left. And people used to think, well, why isn't he gonna leave? And he stayed at Southampton. This mercurial talent. Grealish could have done that at Villa. You know, no one would have ever questioned it. They would have gone loyal, star player. Going to Man City, you're a smaller fish in a bigger pond. And that might not suit. It might not suit him. It might not suit him. I think he's good enough to make it work, but it might not work. Leicester on the attack here for once. Rodri goes over the top. Mahrez is in. I can't watch the Community Shield from Australia. Do you have any know-how on how to watch it? Says Lackey. Well, there's only 8 minutes of it left, mate, so I won't worry too much. Yeah, Daley Smith says he'll adapt. Well, he's got one of those managers that knows exactly how to do that. He'll certainly be coached into not holding the ball as much. You know, being more of a team player. I know it upsets Villa fans, but I don't blame Grealish for leaving, because ultimately, if you want to play in the Champions League and you want to win a trophy, that's why you go and test yourself, isn't it? At a club like this. Be nice to see a winner. I did predict a Leicester win, but I don't think so yet. I think if they're going to win it, they're going to have to win it on penalties. I mean, a 0-0 game in the Community Shield. Come on. Ami says, you think Messi could have done a Del Piero and taken a further wage cut to stay at Barcelona now when they need him the most? Feel there's a lot more going on in the background as we're not aware of. Well, look, it depends how far Barcelona were off. I think he'd already agreed to take one pay cut anyway. And lovely ball in. Oh, what happened there? Keeper's quick off his line. There's the threat of Daka. In behind. City get away with it. 5 minutes to go. He's fast, Daka, says Chinyemba. Here's Grealish on the left. Five minutes to go. Why would Grealish get booed? Who's going to boo Grealish? Leicester fans. Here's Bernardo Silva. Mendy. Little dink to the back post. And Mahrez keeps it in on the far side. Cancelo, back post. Grealish has got time. Takes it down. Bit greedy. No. Keeper's got it. Is Grealish doing well, says Mad Jokes. That has been alright. All Inter players for sale because the club is liquidating, says Ian. Well, this is why people like Lautaro Martinez can go to Arsenal. Because I would never think Lautaro Martinez would go to Arsenal. He was meant to be going to Barcelona. But you've got Barcelona with financial difficulties. I mean, basically the whole of Europe has got financial difficulties. So the Premier League becomes the place where you can end up with Lautaro Martinez at Arsenal or something like that. So the Premier League, this is what I mean. Villa, Leicester. These teams could end up with Lautaro Martinez up front because they've got money and Inter Milan haven't. These big clubs are in financial problems and their status as a big club doesn't really matter because you can get a far smaller club in England who's got more money. Who's winning the Champions League, says Ethan. I don't know. Do you? Has it been fixed already? I'm looking forward to the Champions League, but I don't think just because PSG get Messi, it makes them winners of the Champions League. It makes them one of the favourites. And look, to be honest, PSG in the last couple of years... Oh, mistake! What a save by Stefan. Again. Oh, he's given a penalty! He's given a penalty here! What? Fernandinho says, what? Right, it's a penalty. Late penalty to Leicester. Ake. Oh, yeah, it is. Neither of them get the ball and then he takes him down. I mean, it was a brilliant save by Stefan from Daka. But it is a penalty, Ake. That is a penalty. You can't moan about that. Pep knows. How much did they pay for Nathan Ake? Fernandinho, shut up. Yeah. Get out. Ref says piss off. Get away. That is a penalty. It's a penalty at Fernandinho. Piss off. Oh, just do one. Can hear Mrs. Goldbridge been busy. What's for dinner? I don't know, Mike Thomas. It's a surprise. It is a surprise. But it's a penalty. It's a surprise for Leicester as well, getting a penalty here late on. We might get a winner with 3 minutes to go. Stefan has made some very good saves in this game, though. You know how Pep values the Community Shield. Brendan Rodgers, FA Cup winner. Community Shield on the line. That's not Kevin Friend. That ref's not Kevin Friend. I don't know who it is, but it's not Kevin Friend. Iheanacho's going to take the penalty, having won the penalty. I think Stefan will save this because he's had a really good game anyway. But let's see. And I don't think Iheanacho kicks the ball very cleanly either. It's Paul Cherney, the ref. So this is to win it for Leicester. Oh, it's a goal. It's a goal for Leicester. Goal Leicester. He's put it into the roof of the net. And I tell you what, if you want a stat, I'll give you one. Go high or go home. He's put it into the top corner. The keeper gets his hand on it. Oh, yes, he gets his hand on it, but he doesn't keep it out. And there's some stupid statistic that I'm going to make up that if you go high in the top corner, 80% of penalties are scored. And he does go high. It's not actually, that's not a good penalty. That's not that high. It's a bit high. I think it's high enough to make it a difficult save. But it's not that high. I think the keeper should have saved that. Now then. I think the keeper should have saved that, don't you? I do. I think the keeper should have saved it. I do. I think that keeper should have saved that. And it's 1-0 to Leicester. Smash and grab. Look, Man City have had a lot of the ball in the second half, but I don't think we'll see a lot of Nathan Ake in the Man City first team this season. There is an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand, but we've got over 10,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Look at the pace of Daka here. If he can switch it. He can switch it. Oh, Aki, good defending there. Otherwise, Inacio was in one-on-one again. Formerly of Man City, Inacio as well. Breaking news, Inter Milan is heading towards liquidation. The plan is to sell every player who receives a bid. Selling Lukaku isn't the end. Lautaro Martinez, Barella, De Free. No one can be certain of wearing the Inter shirt next season. United should buy Barella. They really should. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Four minutes added on. It's all going on. It's been a crazy summer, hasn't it? It's all going on. We will be doing the Super Cup on Wednesday. We're only 200 subscribers away from 490,000, so please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all welcome on here. Excitement at the end of what's been a pretty boring game, but I tell you what, I quite like the look of Daka. If you look at all the new signings, I think Bertrand for Leicester in the first half looks handy. But Daka, it looks like in Daka they've got something that can actually rival Vardy. Obviously Vardy's still the main man, but he's got that Vardy vibe of just explosive pace. Well scouted by Leicester again. They know how they play. Well organised, hit on the break, and I think that Daka's going to be an interesting signing for them. And Samari. Keep your eye on Samari, definitely. Grealish, of course. Yeah, keep your eyes on Grealish. I think Doku's the one going to Liverpool, Marvin AM, not Daka, but maybe I've got that wrong. Both good players. So Grealish doesn't win a winner's medal yet. Could have done it in his first appearance for Man City. No. I'd take Barella at United. I know he's not really a holding midfielder, but I do like him. I mean, there's no the great thing about Daka for Leicester is there's no pressure because he will be coming on for Vardy. Vardy will start most games and he will just be coming on, settle in first year. And I think as a young striker, that's the perfect situation. You know, you go to a top 6 Premier League club, best league in the world, and, you know, 22 years of age. I'll get you plenty of game time. We're playing in the Europa League. Same for Samari as well. You know, you will play a lot, but you've got people like Ndidi and Tillemans ahead of you. Just go and settle in. 2 good signings. I called it. A lot of people called it. I think Daka and Samari for Leicester. Well scouted players. They might not both do well, but yeah. So Leicester are going to win this because they've only got 10 seconds left. Nice day out for Leicester. Second time at Wembley in a few months and they're coming home winners again. Penalty, and it was a penalty as well. And there it is, final whistle. Leicester win the Community Shield. I mean, it's not like winning the FA Cup. It's not like winning the Champions League or the Premier League, but it's a big win, and it will give Leicester a bit of confidence, certainly. I think with Leicester, they've had that bottlers tag attached to them for a long, long time, and I think what they can do is say, you know, we've won a couple of tournaments. You know, we've won a Community Shield, we won an FA Cup. That means we're not bottlers. Can they build from that? Can they build from that? I mean, look, as I said, I don't think they'll get top 4 this year, but I like the way Leicester build their teams. I like the way they scout. And I think, as I said Daka and Samori look like potentially good young players coming in. Bertrand's a very experienced left back as well. Very unlucky what's happened with Fofana, by the way, but I still think they'll be a good side. So well done to Leicester. Thanks everyone for tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and smash a like. I'm going to be on the United stand at 8 o'clock. I'm bloody starving now, so I'm going to go and get something to eat. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.